training thing throwdown!
Our demo athletes this week is the entire training thing tank on-site group.
Throwdown 284 is for time a 400-meter run, 15 bar muscle-ups, 9 squat cleans, 400-meter run, 10 bar muscle-ups, 7 squat cleans, 400-meter run, 5 bar muscle-ups, 5 squat cleans, and the weight goes up each round.
We announce a new throwdown right here on YouTube every Thursday at 1 p.m.
Join our entire community to practice the skill of competing.
Use the next 2 days to plan a strategy, grab some friends, and throw down on Saturday.
All
Is that a false
righty.
start?
That was a false start by the old Dirty Gilpin.
Oh, no.
Dirty Gilp.
The Dirty Gilpin.
I was thinking about saying that online qualifier style workouts don't start with runs.
Remember we
Normally-
had this? Yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
Well-
What perfect timing.
But what happens when you leave?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
All right, so this type of pace, all right, 6-minute mile pace for the Pasty Warrior and Matt Gilpin coming
I feel like
in.
he would be classified as a pasty warrior.
So for general, what's the time cap on this workout? 15 minutes. So if you think about 15-minute workout, your 400-meter pace should be somewhere around like 5K. So that looks really fast for Trav and Matt, but Travis also hold like 6-10 miles for 3 miles straight.
No.
Six-
I held 6:02 the other day.
Okay, there you go.
So I think in this workout for normal people, the run is not going to be a big separator, right? It's
Agreed.
pretty high skill gymnastics, pretty heavy barbell. So think about that while you're running. If you're going to be bottlenecked by the bar muscle ups and you're going to be bottlenecked by the last bar or even the last 2 bars, you should run at a comfortable pace.
Yeah. This is kind of a qualifier style workout that is more similar to like a semi-final level or like a qualifier for rogue type event where it's much heavier. It's starting at 225 and 155, which is a relatively big percentage for just cycling.
Right, and it starts right away with higher skill gymnastics.
Yes.
15 bar muscle ups. That's a pretty big chunk to
Yeah, I mean,
open
the
up
plan
with.
going into it, too, was like, hey, let's break. Like, that was kind of the agreed. And then out of the corner of my eye, I never saw him come down. I was like, well, I'm not going to come
No
down.
one
So then
ever.
now we,
Well, how is this a surprise? This is
well,
always
it was
what
almost
happens.
a surprise because I've gotten a little better over time with my pacing recently and strategy. But I got roped into it here with him. And I honestly felt like these squat cleans at 225 felt like they started to take the life out of me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish I broke up the bar muscle ups just
I
a
mean,
little bit.
I think most people should
You definitely
break
should.
up the bar muscle ups.
I would say 5.55 or 9.6, something that you're going to be allowed to just keep moving.
Yeah. And then at an intermediate level, you might want to be doing actually a scaled version of it. If you want to practice barbell cycling, you might want to lower the reps so that way you can get through it in the time cap. Or you approach it as if you are just going to get as deep as possible into the workout. So this is one of those ones that you got to kind of strategize how you approach the workout in the first place.
Is Adam changing everyone's weights? What a nice guy.
Yes. So Adam
did
and Frank,
all the weight
No,
change?
Adam and Frank were running around in between each and having the weight change. So you can have someone change the weights for you, or you can have 3 different bars set up. I would choose just have somebody change the weights while you're out there running.
Some people don't have that luxury, Travis Mayer.
What, 3 bars?
That too.
Or what do you mean?
Yeah, I meant
Or
3 bars
someone
or a
change-
weight changer either.
I feel like most people got a friend.
Yeah, maybe.
So the bar starts fairly heavy for barbell cycling compared to like an open workout. I think if this is a higher percentage for you, you should go in with a plan on like how much rest you want in between your reps. So maybe you want to go 1 every 10 seconds or 1 every 15 seconds. And then as you get more fatigued or into the heavier barbells, of course, that is going to slow down. But it's really easy to just start stepping away from the bar and taking way too long of a rest and like kind of feeling sorry for yourself, even at this first barbell weight, because it is it's a tough squat clean.
Yeah, for sure. Especially paired with gymnastics and running. I think just another kind as they're going off the last 2 going out to their runs, something to think about is when you finish your squat clean, you're going to probably be pretty messed up after just going through the barbell cycling pretty continuously. But I think just getting started on your run right away, just even if it starts out at a 10 to 12 minute mile pace before you pick it up, I think that's worthwhile as opposed to walking the transition out into the run.
For sure. Matt's beating you.
Yeah.
He is beating me.
Yeah.
I had a game plan kind of going into it, and I kind of stuck to my game plan a little
Shouldn't
bit.
he have a lighter weight since he's a challenger?
Oh, he should, but it ain't gonna matter here in a minute.
So did you?
Oh.
Whoa. So Matt went unbroken again. So he's done 2 sets unbroken. Now, his transition there was actually still pretty quick. But if you're kind of like on the fence and you feel like you can do it unbroken, but it's going to require you to like, you know, take a long break and chalk your hands and do kind of what Travis is doing here, putting his belt on.
Yeah, I kind
for a
of
long transition. It
Counter
might
it
not
back.
be
I should have
worth
put
it.
that belt on the first round, but I was like, nah,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather do these 15 without it.
Yeah. It depends on what percentage of your 1 rep max is and how fast you can cycle this. Like you could see Travis right there is on like a 4 or 5 second clock with his cleans. That is very fast at this weight. You can see right behind him, Matt, who's also a pretty strong athlete, maybe not like strong at the highest of the world level, but this is still something he can cycle. But you see he's like already losing 5 to 7 seconds in between each rep between Travis. It's almost like a 2-for-1 cadence here.
Yeah, I feel like the big part for me is like same thing Mia was just saying, just try to stay close to the bar, and I just try to put my hands down on it because no matter what, I'll like try to pick it up a little faster than what I want versus stepping back, taking a few seconds, just staying over it. That forces you, like even there, just a couple of seconds, then boom, go into it again.
If you are getting up there in your percentages, I think it's super important in a workout like this not to rush your setup, which is the opposite of what I normally say when there's barbell cycling. But if you pull that bar when it's just a little bit in front of you, or you leave your chest a little bit too, or your upper back a little bit too relaxed, you're going to have to really grind out of that squat because you're probably not going to catch it in the right position, and it's going to make it way harder. So taking your time to set up properly is, I think, important in this
Also,
workout.
yeah, I'd agree with that. And add to it, a miss is, I don't want to say catastrophic. You can miss and still do okay on this workout.
You're done.
But
You don't finish the workout.
yeah, but you don't really want to have to do the work of one of these heavy cleans, stand it, 3/4 of the way up, and it was just a little forward because you were sloppy with your start, and then you missed the lift.
With that said, I think in training, you should practice a faster strong setup.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Like
Being able to put your
not
hands
quite,
down
Yeah,
quickly.
not quite like you're lifting in an Olympic lifting meet, but you're still hitting all of the points of performance. You have a lot of tension in your upper back. Your chest is pulled up a little bit. The bar is close to your body. I know that's a mistake I make a lot when I'm in a workout, is I'll just like leave the bar a little too far in front of me when I pull it, and then everything is harder.
Yeah, something to note, they're actually, Allison in the front and Gus in the third position are both doing it where they go down to the bar and grab it with both hands. Annalise, who's second there, she's one, then the other, and kind of gets set up. I would encourage, as you set your like strong barbell cycling setup, to try to get both hands to the bar in the same spot at the same time. It's saving maybe like a 1/4 to a half second or maybe a full second, depending on if it's a clean or a snatch. But I think that's worthwhile to just get your setups as quick as possible, because it's just kind of wasted time if you're, ready to go, but you got to go one hand, then the next hand.
Quick,
Yeah.
but not rushed.
Yeah, exactly.
Smooth as fast.
All right, so they were-
Here we go. We caught him, son.
They went out the door. Travis went out the door at about a 7:15, and Matt was like a 7:06 or something. So they went from basically a 1:30 opening 400 to about a 2-minute 400 in the last one. So kind of be prepared for that and realize that the rounds will actually.
We also started at the door versus running to the barbell.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that
true.
does.
Yeah, that's maybe
add
another 10 seconds.
10 seconds or so. So
Yeah.
I know we were not running 2-minute
Yeah.
400s. I do know that.
Yeah. And something to think too, even though the reps go down, because the weight is higher, the round times are probably going to actually be pretty close to one another. I think they were 3:30 on their opening round, and then Matt went out the door at about 7:06, and Travis went out at 7:15. So they slowed down a little bit, but that means if they were on the exact same pace, they'd be finishing at 10:30, and they're in the cleans right now at 10:05. So it does seem like each round will be kind of close to the same if you can barbell cycle well at these weights.
How was that last weight for you, Trav?
I mean, for me personally, looking at it between me and Matt, I kind of knew getting to the heavier bar, which is definitely going to be more an advantage to me. I feel more comfortable just kind of cycling at that weight. I think it's kind of like that higher rep at that set of 9. It just gets hard, where I think you could also like spill over in that point. So for me, it was just kind of like do one, take a breath, try to go down, do another one, and that cadence towards the end at 245 and 75 definitely made me catch up a lot, as you can tell from here.
Yeah, I mean, this will be an indicator for most people. This last bar, he's done. Nice.
He's done.
This last bar,
Got him.
they basically came in around the same time. Travis just passed him, but, you know, he finished 35, 40 seconds ahead just from that last set of cleans. So that will be a huge separator just in the workout for people. Especially the 15-minute cap means that us mere mortals or people that are a little bit more normal at CrossFit will have time to cycle the bar.
That was an excellent transition off of the bar, or
Yeah.
the pull-up bar. Did you see that? He
Yeah,
like twisted
Colton
in
did a
midair.
good job there. No, and I mean, this was good for him to hop in. He did actually just finish the class workout right before this, and then
No way.
was told like, "Hey, you want to hop in?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then just
We
How-
became
how old is-
best
how old
friends
is he?
decided to hop in.
26, I think.
He's in
What'd you
his
say?
20s.
26.
You
Checks
answered
out.
that really fast.
Well,
So
He did a scaled version, right?
he did
Yeah,
a
that was
scale
a little
version of the
lighter.
weight, but
That's
it
225
is
barbell
the
there, right?
appropriate weight for
Yeah.
him to be going into it, and he's been crushing it lately. Just did the camp with us.
Yeah.
Hit
We
a
became best friends.
massive
That's
PR.
how I knew about his
Yeah,
age.
do you want to explain? Do you want to explain how you became best
Clearly.
friends?
No,
What-
not
what else do you know
publicly.
about him?
Well, we should
that makes
explain
it
how
weird.
he became best
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. Well, he trains here all the time, and I went around and did my normal introductions to everyone, and I was like, "Oh, where do you train?" And he was like, "Here."
Oh my
And I was like, "Oh God!" So I gave him a hug, and we became best friends, and I learned way more about him.
Damn, that's rough.
Yeah, he was a good sport about it. He didn't make me feel crappy, but I felt crappy enough on my own
Yeah.
accord.
After he said that, were you like, "Oh, you do look familiar"?
No,
Or were you like,
no, I didn't lie. I was just like, sorry, dude. I even said like, "Oh, are you a morning person? I don't think I've ever seen you." He's like, "No, I pretty much train all the time." He's like, "I've seen
He's
you."
usually here a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, so it was just a bad etiquette on my
you did
part.
the open with them.
Oh, I guess you
Did I?
You were side by side. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Anyways, let's get back to the workout.
Yeah.
Last bar
Finishing
here.
a little bit.
Yeah, 2 more minutes until the time cap. And again, like
It's a
you
tight
know,
time cap,
Yeah, it's
huh?
a tight. That's what I was gonna say. Is you got semifinal level athletes that have been at big competitions before finishing only 2 minutes before the cap. So I think that you should be prepared to probably get time capped if you're not a super high level athlete, or make the smarter play
accordingly.
and scale so you get a similar stimulus. Colton there is a really fit athlete, young, athletic, and his peak weight was 225. So that means that he was basically used the opening weight and still finished in the 13-ish minute range. So that's probably an appropriate scale for him. So just be mindful of that when you're selecting your weights.
Ain't
Also,
nothing wrong
there-
with scaling, folks.
Right, and there are 30 bar muscle ups. So if you have to do singles or doubles, and that's just going to eat up the whole time, modify that as well.
Yeah, we have the intermediate option and scaled option within there, so you can either ask questions in there in the Throwdown leaderboard or ask questions in the comments of the YouTube video about how to scale appropriately. But I think the number one thing to preserve the stimulus would be try to get through the workout and be finishing it somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes, whether that's putting chest to bars in there or lightening the weights, whatever you got to do to kind of get this type of a stimulus would make sense.
Lightening those weights.
Lightning?
Sounded like
Lightning.
lightning.
Weights.
Lightening the weights. This was actually a fun workout, though, to do as a group. Some good racing.
All right, so she took that on 14:20. Let's see what her cadence between reps is here. I know Annalise had a little
She had
bit.
one or two more.
Yeah, that's a 10-second transition between. I think that's probably pretty appropriate for most people and what you should expect. But then the rep itself takes like another 3 to 4 seconds. So it might be like almost on a 45-second or a 15-second clock basically between lifts here.
Yeah, hands were down on the bar 11 seconds.
10 more seconds. She beat the cap or she got one more?
No, that was
Oh,
it.
nice.
Did it.
Nice.
Solid.
That's a wrap. We did it, folks.
All right, there's
Thought
the
you were gonna break
workout.
out in the
The
Project
TTT on-site people. Oh yeah, forgot about Project Pat.
He hasn't been in any of these for months.
Oh no.
Aw, bring him back.
Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him back.
Bring him back.
All right, let's see what they have to say about the workout.
It was hard. I mean, my legs were so heavy when running, and I thought the weight was gonna feel way worse than the last one, but it was good.
I was like, just fucking toss me already.
I was waiting.
How was it, little one?
It was great.
You loved it?
I loved it so much.
I I pushed those 245s so fast to try and get ahead of you.
Yeah.
And then I went to run, and I was like, I got no legs.
saw it as soon as you went up
I
the
can't
door.
run. Yeah.
I saw that opening because I saw where you were.
I wanted to try and pick up speed down the hill and then hold it, and I couldn't. I was like, done.
You just felt like losing the trap?
Yeah, I just felt like losing the trap. But hey, I won the first 2 rounds convincingly.
I'd count it.
That's what mattered, yeah. I mean, 2 or 3, right?
2 or
Best
3.
2 out of 3. That was actually 3 workouts. Not 1 round. Each round was a workout. I won 2 of them.
The thing they always
Let's go,
say
Lisa.
is the leaderboard, and that's the one score they have to go. Nice, Lisa. Good. Again. Good, good, good. Come on, keep it up. There you go. Man, we ran that first 400 so fast.
90 seconds.
Yeah, I looked up and I was like, uh-oh.
You did what?
We ran our first 400 too fast.
What was it like losing those first 2 rounds tonight?
Nothing, because you know what happens? It ain't about how you start, it's how you finish, baby.
Hey, I just knew that when we got to 275, it was going to take me longer. So I was trying to get a gap. And then
But it didn't work. So
What
he
happened to
expended that energy.
Hold up. What happened to breaking the bar muscle up?
Because you didn't drop either.
I know. But I didn't drop because you didn't drop.
Well, then that's exactly why I didn't drop. Because I knew you weren't dropping. I'll be honest, at 12, I was like, can you just drop, please?
Yeah, I was at.
Because then I was going to hang on. I was going to be honest, if you dropped at 12, I was going to go to 15.
Yeah, I was
And
like.
then you didn't drop, and I was like,
Yeah,
dang
you
it.
hadn't dropped, and I was like, all right, I guess we're hanging on.
I think it was honestly the right call.
It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it.